Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Professor Sides, and this course is Principles of Microeconomics. We're in Chapter 3, Interdependence and the Gains from Trade. In the previous lecture, we discussed the principle of interdependence and the concept of production possibility frontier. We also introduced the concept of consumption production frontier. Let's evaluate now the effects to answer the question why interdependence is chosen. Continuing with our example of the United States and Japan, we are given the following. This is without trade. And our graph here shows us with trade. This is for the US. And as you can see. And again, this is Japan. The fact that US and Japan are willing to trade introduces the terms export and import. Basically, what you need to remember is that exports means to exit, it's leaving the country, and imports means it's coming into or in the country. So what does this mean? Remember that without trade, consumption and production are the same. The consumption possibility frontier and the production possibility frontier are the same. However, with trade, they're separate, they're different. In this graph here, we see that the red dot, let me put this here, we see here that this dot represents production. This is what the United States is able to produce. And this dot here, which is blue, I'm not sure if you can see that it's blue, but this dot here represents consumption. So as you can see, we are able to, with trade, consume more than what we are able to produce. In other words, trade is similar to technological progress because we're able to consume more than we produce. And let's look at Japan. Let's go back here. And as we look at Japan here is their production, and here is their consumption. And again, they are able to consume more than what they produce relative to, in this instance, wheat. Consequently, both countries gain by trade, and we can see this here. These are the gains that the United States make, and these are the gains that Japan make. It is here, because of these gains, that we introduce the concept comparative versus absolute advantage. When we talk about absolute advantage, again, we're talking about our ability to produce goods using fewer inputs. We have an advantage when it comes to production, a production advantage. And comparative, I'm going to put the comparative. The definition for comparative advantage, again, is our ability to produce a good at a lower opportunity cost than another producer. Okay, so absolute means we have absolute is more definitive. Comparative, again, comparatively speaking to another. As a result of these gains, remember our gains back from from the previous slide. As a result of these gains, the two countries in this case, or the individuals mentioned in our textbook example, choose to specialize in order to gain a comparative advantage. You as a student are investing in yourself by attending college and by specializing to give yourself a comparative advantage in the workforce so that you can gain economically. In our next lecture, we will dig deeper into this concept of comparative advantage, which is foundational to the rest of your studies in economics. I look forward to speaking to you soon.